Today I got a really good video for you all about Charlotte, North Carolina, but first I have to let myself from the past tell you what the date is for the consecutive 7 days. July 21st. Today is July 22nd. Today is July 23rd. Today is July 24th, 2025. July 25th, 2025. Today is July 26th. Today is July 27th. Alright, so today's gonna be difficult but doable. I'm gonna tell you today all about the city I was born in. The city I was born in, simply put, Charlotte, North Carolina, the 704. I was born and not in a house, in a hospital, actually very close by here, like 2 or 3 blocks that way. But I grew up in a house that is about 8, 9, 10, 20 blocks that way. And this is my home, or at least it was my home until I moved out. I love this place and I love this city. I hope the audio sounds okay because I'm outside and I rarely do these outside, but I'm trying my best to make these things better. So let me know if you think the audio is good, if you think it's bad, if you don't think anything at all, or if you're brain dead. I'd also like to know. Let me know whatever the situation. Moving on, I was born here, Charlotte, North Carolina. I had girlfriends here, I had friends here, I had my childhood here. And honestly, it feels kind of weird saying all that stuff because I'm still pretty young. I'm still pretty young. I turned 22 in a couple days. But I figured since I'm back here for the next couple of days and I love the skyline, I love the city, I'd come and make my video here. And obviously you can see maybe I've got some poor planning that not only am I making my video here, but I'm making my video about here. So this is Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm gonna do my best to run through all the important locations in my life over the next 9 or so minutes. Starting with Eastover Elementary. I don't know if the names matter. We'll just say my elementary school. Starting with my elementary school, I lived a block or 2 away from my elementary school. And that means that I walked there when I got a little bit older. And I remember that being a huge deal. Elementary school is where I made my first friends. It's where I don't know, it's elementary school. Moving on from elementary school, there was middle school. Now middle school was a big deal because it was packed into a place that had an elementary and a high school right next to it, so it was just this big school kind of area. And in this area, I went to middle school. Now, I'll always maintain middle school and high school, they're just very hard. As you pass elementary school, it's not even about the experiences of the schools, it's about just getting older. And getting older I was, as I am now. It's weird talking about all of this because I don't want to seem like I'm you know, I don't want to seem like I know anything. I certainly don't know anything. That's why I try to make these videos. I'm trying to figure something out here with you, I guess. But, you know, that's that. And I gotta make sure I keep these clips to 5 seconds for my future self. I was on my way. I went from middle school to high school. And then high school, I got my first job, which is right down there. And it wasn't actually my first job. I think I had held jobs before. But this job, I worked right near close to the city. And I realized how important cities are. You see, it's not just a coincidence that all these big buildings are built big, all right next to each other. It really happens for a reason. And that's like a no-brainer, duh, common sense. But it's also something that I've come to really appreciate. The job that I worked was a car wash. It was a self-service car wash. It was Autobell car wash on Charlottetown Avenue, right down there. And I loved it. The thing about that job is we got cash tips. Now, I'm 22 now. Back then I was 16, 17, 18. And I've yet to have a job where I made as much money as I did down there. I made tons of cash. Tips flowed in. I made so much money. And, you know, I really felt important. And that's why it's so important to me. Because it wasn't really about the money. The money was just kind of a reaffirmation that what I was doing was seen as worth something. I think what I liked most is, I don't know, I liked how it really sucked, but I still did it. So that's why these videos are so important, because they really suck, but I still do them. And don't get me wrong, I don't mean that this sucks. I mean, it does, but how can I say that and still be positive? You know, I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be positive here. And being positive, honestly, is something that's really, really important. I was very positive at the car wash, and I think it helped me a lot. So as I go and I continue, I'm trying to think about what else matters other than this car wash. Eventually I moved out and I moved to Raleigh. And don't get me wrong, I love Raleigh, all right? Don't get me wrong, but the skyline just don't hold nothing to this. I mean, look at this. It gets bigger and bigger each day. I am in love, big time with Charlotte. Seriously, I am in love with the Charlotte skyline. CLT, the Queen Cities, one of the only cities, mind you, on the East Coast to be named directly after royalty. I know you wouldn't expect it, right? Especially if you've ever traveled the East Coast, you realize that things are a lot bigger than they seem, and a lot of places share the same name, and so on. You would think that, you know, royalty or, you know, British rule would have carried on in more ways. And I guess it carried on plenty, but Charlotte is truly the Queen City. I love this place. Charlotte is home to the Carolina Panthers, which is technically South and North Carolina due to the person that owns the team having a big belief in that, as well as the Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets are an NBA team. They play in the Spectrum Center. The Panthers play in Bank of America Stadium. The Carolina Panthers name, how they both go for South and North Carolina, is kind of like the Carolina Hurricanes. It's a good idea, I think, to take, you know, two states, South and North, and unite them with a franchise team. And as the sun sets behind me, I hope this lighting holds up. I think this shot is beautiful. And I can already tell I'm gonna be very happy with this video. Seriously. But it's not about whether or not I'm happy with the video. It's about, will I be able to return and do this again tomorrow? Let me tell you something. I played basketball with my little brother today, and I am getting old. It was hard to keep up. I struggled. Seriously, I struggled. But I did it, and I plan to do it again tomorrow. And again tomorrow, not basketball, but making this video. You know, it's just my day-to-day thing. Today I actually have to walk. I still have a lot to do today. And, you know, that is what it is. It is what it is. I have to remember that in my Instagram reel, I gotta talk about how this is now Wells Fargo instead of Duke Energy. Buildings may change names, but they never change the place in my heart. That's the tallest building in the skyline, and it's the Duke Energy building. My name is jackkadis and I was born here. How lucky am I to be born in a city like this? I love this city. It's like getting born in the first place is already insanely lucky. I don't know how to explain it. But being born here? Like, what are the chances? Honestly, you might be running to the comments right now and saying the chances are very high because majority of the world lives in cities. Or do they? I think that they do. I don't know. Living here gave me a thirst to go to New York City. Because if you've been there, you know this skyline don't hold a candle to what they got. And it's deceptive, right? Because you see all these buildings, but really there's lots of highways and green space. In New York City, there's so many people packed so close together that they're like, it's not like this. I'll put it this way. In Charlotte, you can't survive without a car. You need a car to live your life. In New York City, nobody has cars. And that's just the difference. That's just the difference. The difference between Charlotte and New York City. That's just the difference to me, at least. You know, I don't know what the difference might be to you. You'll have to comment down below. You know, I feel like I should say now that I've been getting more comments in the last 48 hours than I've ever gotten, ever. And there's a lot backlogged that I still haven't responded to, and I just want you to know, just because I'm not responding doesn't mean I won't respond, I will respond. But the most important thing for you to know and understand is, I love this city. Seriously, I love this city. Charlotte is, it's almost more to me than a city. It's hard to explain. To me, Charlotte is like a living, breathing person that I am, simply put, in love with. Without Charlotte, I don't think that I would understand how beautiful cities are. That's why, if I ever have a daughter, I want desperately to name her Charlotte. And I know it won't 100% be up to me, but actually, it might be up to me. You never know. Maybe I'll have a kid all by myself. Not like literally, but you know, adopting and such. But I think Charlotte is just such a beautiful name. And you could even call a guy Charlotte. It's like something about the name. It's just so deeply like Charlotte's Web, ever heard of it? But, you know, as we continue to go forward and I continue to talk about my city, I just maintain that I hope the lighting is good. I think as long as I keep my head blocking the sun, you'll be able to see me pretty okay and see the city too. So, you know, you're probably getting the gist of it now. I love Charlotte, and this video is all about Charlotte. We got off topic a little bit. What I'm really supposed to be talking about is my childhood and how this city shaped me, and in turn, how I think I shaped this city. I think living in a place like this, growing up, taught me that there's really so many people that you're just another fish in the sea. And I think that thought to me at a time was really overwhelming and deeply worrying almost. And that thought, just another fish in the sea, kind of inspired me to take certain actions where I would really do things to stand out, whether or not I would do them before I thought over whether they were good or bad things. I just wanted to stand out. And I think doing that, in a way, I shaped this city. You might think what I'm saying right now is silly, and you might be lost, and you might think I've got a huge head or you're not following. I'm curious what you think, really, comment. What I'm thinking is, this video is totally way longer than 10 minutes. But it's okay, because when you make a video and it goes longer than you thought it would because you're talking about something you care about, that's a good problem to have. And life is full of problems. So if you have the control, if you can choose what problems you want, then choose the ones you want. And I want this problem. Instead of being stuck far away from this city, I want to be stuck talking about this city. That didn't make much sense in hindsight, what I just said, but it's okay. We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. So, you know, I hope this mic is picking up my voice. Hope the wind isn't too bad. And most of all, I hope you're starting to appreciate how beautiful this is. Right there, that's Bank of America building. I told you already that hold on. I told you already that this one is Duke Energy, and this one's PNC, I think. Or I'm not sure if we have a PNC building. I don't know. I do know that Charlotte is one of the banking capitals of this country. Being a banking capital of this country, it means billions of dollars flow through this city every day, and that's pretty amazing. But it's just another example of how deeply connected I am to this place, yet there's a side of it that I've never even been close to experiencing. Yeah, you know, I've been in a Bank of America. I've banked. But have I ever worked in banking, met someone, known someone to work in banking? Never. So it's just a reminder. It's a reminder that there is so much out there. And I think moving to Raleigh, it's smaller, and sometimes I think I live in the middle of nowhere because I'm far away from downtown. But I feel obligated to remind myself that where I live is still massive. There is still so much happening all around me, and it's up to me to discover it. Like discovering this view of Charlotte. I mean, come on, can you look at what's behind me right now and not say, damn? Sorry, I don't mean to say bad words. This is beautiful. Because it really is. It's really beautiful. So, the truth, well, not the truth, but let me tell you something. There may be a time in my life where I stand in front of this city at this specific viewpoint, overlooking the skyline at sunset for the last time. And as much as I don't want that time to come, it's coming. And I said maybe, but there will be. So I feel it my duty, my obligation, it's important for this to happen. And you might be lost. I must tell you how much I care for what you're looking at behind me. Because it represents something. Something bigger than me, something bigger than you. Bigger than people, yet entirely comprised of people. It is the creation of teamwork. There's nothing bad. It's just beautiful. And I'm sure, you know, saying that, I thought inside of my head, what do you mean nothing bad? There's definitely bad stuff to come from cities. And I get it. You know, you could talk about bad things to come from cities. You could. There are bad things came from cities. Yeah, I get it. But Charlotte, I don't know, there's something about it that just has me immediately overlooking any of those cons. When I see what's behind me, and I'm looking in the viewfinder right now, I just see this statue. It's almost like a painting. I see this beautiful work of art, and I just want to stare and stare and stare at it. So, you know, next time you're around, next time you're hanging about Charlotte, just take a second look. And if you don't live in Charlotte, but you do live in a city, or if you just live near a city, go to it. Spend some time in it. Because it's not about where you are or who you're around. It's just about people at the end of the day. It really is. When you think about it, it all just boils down to people, and where are their people? Cities. I love Charlotte. I love it so much. I couldn't say how much I love Charlotte. It's like I feel like my words aren't enough to depict and describe how much I care for this city. It's like I want to show you, like this framing isn't enough almost. Like I need to show you something else. But you guys know how we do it on this channel. We take it day by day, small improvements, make a better show, and I'm glad to bring this to you. So, without further ado, this is the end of the episode, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, Charlotte.